Hello, hello. Hello, Tice, who is definitely here. Howdy, Red Wraith. Okay, so we're doing some burner designing today. We're pretty close to finishing, like, the base. I think the only thing we were missing was the loading section of the main base, loading section as in, like, loading the train, the building train. And then we might have also been missing something later, or fuel. We also need fuel, which we're doing last because it's just kind of got to surround our entire base. So there wasn't really any huge reason to do it early, especially since it's just fueling. It can't be that complicated. I mean, it's going to be annoying, but it's not like having a solid fuel plant here or like here is going to make a huge difference, like just a few tiles apart. So we figured it would be easiest to do it at the very end, make it nice and simple. What are these what are these powerful connections? They look so weird with the mod. Okay. So we need to automate bot chests. Oh, that's important actually. That's very important. We're not really using any like passive providers or requesters. So I don't really need to automate them. I think I wanted them. Well, okay, what does this say? It says I need near any red chips. Burner design is one of the biggest achievements. You honestly don't know how I do it. You get so bored, tired of designing after 60 hours or so. I think it helps that it's such such an extreme limitation that it adds a lot more to the designing. Also, this is a really good spot. Wait. Can I get green chips here? Because this is almost a perfect spot for me to automate the fancy chests. If I do something weird with circuits, we could do it pretty easily. Because we obviously don't need them automated until like big red chips are up. Because that's when bots are going to start placing a ton of passive providers. The first ones are going to be all hand built. Another option is here. Because we don't need a ton of passive providers in storage chests, right? Like, we really do not use much of either of them. These, I don't even know if we'll include. If we do, they're going to be at the very, like, top of our base. But as far as I know, we're not really using them for anything. Oh, that's weird. They're not on the minimap. Oh, when they're on a different stage, they're not on the minimap. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see, where is it? Okay. So bots go up here. So this is the first thing bots build. No, that would be dumb. That's the second thing bot build. Yeah, I was like, that would be weird if I had the first things bots build be nuclear power, effectively. Just out of curiosity, were the other 99998 taken? Yeah, you always, whenever you say a number, you just gotta wonder how many times someone tested. Just went up one by one until they got what they wanted. Okay, I guess I should look at the final stage to try to find this spot, because this is obviously a very clear area. This is not very empty. However, it is very close to everything I need, so this would be another good spot. Because we have red chips here. If we have like a splitter, we could very easily get red chips. Let's see, what is this? A red chip and wire belt? Really? That's what I went with? Red chip and wire, huh? Also, why are these still yellow belts? I think I have overproduction, but this should be downgraded. I don't know. I think, honestly, if it's designed this way, I probably tested it to see if red belt was fine. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, ideally, it should be downgraded whenever the saturation gets low, which would be around here. That's definitely not correct. What's the easiest way to fix that? Okay, cool. The stage mod It's a little bit weird if you accidentally change prod modules or something in like the wrong tier. But yeah, we have red chips, and then that would mean green chips are in this one. Unfortunately, this is not prioed, so if I rely on this to get red chips, I feel like I need logic. I think I should use circuit logic, because I want to have steel chests, right? I need steel chests. Those are very important. Oh wait, we haven't automated steel chests. It's not hard. It's just something we need to do up top. So yeah, we have extra steel. We're gonna turn it all into steel chests. Because yeah, we kind of need steel chests for our outposts. Not important right now though. Or is it? No. Yeah, we'll have separate automation. Just because of where the steel is. Is there any steel here? Red Rafe is already taken on Twitch, so either it's a very old account of yours or there's two psychopaths in the world. I like the very old account idea. Sometimes I wonder that too. Like I've definitely run into stuff where it's like, oh, this username was taken. And then it seems like it's mine, but I don't recall it at all. My memory's awful for that stuff though. Discord had it really good. And then they changed it, which didn't affect me, but I know it affected a lot of people. But yeah, Discord had like a really nice approach to usernames. I don't think it would work as well for like a Twitch setting. Because like I get having actually unique usernames does make it a lot easier to, you know, have a brand or something like on the streamer side. But just for general user purposes, just being able to have like some secret tag and like a display tag, so much nicer. Like there's no real reason not to just, there's very few reasons to not be able to just have whatever tag you want wherever. And have like your username be, you know, some secret thing just for you. At least for a lot of cases. I don't think we can fit everything I need in here. I mean, because we can get the green chips, we can get the red chips. That's very easy. I don't think steel is close. Like, we have steel, but I think it's all the way up here. See, I guess we could follow it. We haven't looked at this part of the base in a while, so it's kind of tricky. Okay, so steel is up here. We could technically just make the steel chests here, belt them down. It's not that far. I've been wanting to avoid belt weave. Actually, no, there's a way to get it down there without belt weaving. What is this? Oh, this is splitting off something that I need. Oh, twice. Wait, what? Why do I split it twice? Oh, I think it's just spacing purposes. I don't think I need it to be split. Or it could be a side load. Not gonna mess with it in case it breaks things. Let's just start with the basics. Let's just place the assembly machines and see if something comes to me. We could, you know, that is an option. I could produce steel locally. Because I really don't need a lot of these, right? Like, I think in our entire base, we probably have, like... I mean, we've only really placed, like, 100? Maybe? 50. We've placed 50. So this is just automation for protection, more than anything. To make sure we don't miss anything. It's really just the storage chest that counts. So yeah, this is incredibly low priority. Where would that be anyway? Here. I feel like with how little we need, oh, wrong layer. With how little we need, I really feel like we could just do local steel production fairly easily. Let's see if we can fit that. Because if I can, I think that's definitely worth it. One. I mean, technically that works. A little bit suboptimal. But I could do something like that. Honestly, but in this case, I should just do that. Okay, and then we need an output, which unfortunately we don't have space for. But however, with the weird design that we have, we might as well move this down, and then we have space to do an output, and then we're good. Okay, I mean, I guess that's fine. Yeah, we can make that work. Okay, what layer is that on? So this would actually go past it, and it would loop this way instead. That has no downsides. Perfect. Okay, I mean, yeah, this basically fits. I think that's fine. We'll need a splitter there, which is actually on a different layer. Okay, we'll need to be careful about that. Why don't I have my hotbar? Why don't I have anything on my hotbar? I guess I don't really use my hotbar much for this kind of designing, because it's a lot of copy and paste. And just cue picking. Like, it's not like... Most of it is thinking, right? There's not a lot of fast actions you need. Okay, so what if I do a sushi belt? I definitely don't have as much space here as I thought I did, which is problematic. Well, that doesn't work. That needs, this would need a circuit condition to be safe. Should I just do it somewhere else? I think I should just do it somewhere else. Because there really is not a ton of space here. I guess I could go off the grid and move this around. That might make things viable. Because currently, right now, all I can think of is doing some kind of sushi belt, and it's very packed. Where else can I get steel, I guess, is the real question. Is there steel over here? There could be steel over here. It seems like something that would be required. Like over here, we have steel. We don't have a ton. And it's on the sushi belt. We can't split off a sushi belt. That won't work. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. So we don't really have steel we can take from. Did these require steel? No, they require LDS. So they do require a ton of steel, but it's not in steel form. This does require steel. Do any of these require red chips? There might actually be... If this has red chips and this has steel, then that means there's a spot over here that's very easy to build this in. However, I think, isn't that built incredibly late? Actually, no. It's one stage later than I've been designing in. We can live with that. Where's the thing I was working on, though? Oh, no, it's exactly the same stage we were working on. Okay, you know what? I'm fine with that. Is that just gonna remain there forever? No, we should fix that. Because I can guarantee I will be confused by that later when I wonder why that exists. Okay, it was 2.3 and we're trying to fit it over here. Okay, there is steel. But where would it be? Oh, hey, this is the steel belt that I was following earlier. I guess it is actually viable. Okay, so this has inputs. So this is obviously red chips and green chips. Because this goes in, yeah. So this is, hold on. Hi, I was back. Definitely wasn't muted. Yeah. You're trying to speedrun a mod and base design is already taking 2 times if you casually run the mod blindly. Yeah, that tracks. That seems to be how designing a plan goes. But it will make it that when you do run it, you get like 10 minutes off with all the designing. But yeah, what were we doing? We are trying to figure out where steel comes from. So we have circuits and red chips here. Hopefully there's enough. Very much hoping there's enough. One of these is priode. This one is priode. Okay, so since this is priode, there should be enough there. And steel is somewhere here. It could be on this lane. How the heck am I going to find steel? Do I just have to follow? I think I just have to follow this whole line. Okay, so we follow this. We go down. We follow it straight. Okay, it splits. That means there's steel here. Here, here. That's rotated the wrong way. Or is it? Oh, that's not. Oh, that's a weird design. Okay, so that splits. That sends steel down. And then we have steel going up. And then up. And then... Then how does it get over? How does it get over here? Oh, it goes up again. Okay, so this is steel. So what I should actually do... we have to force delete this. Which I hope I use the rest one. The right one. The rest one. And we're doing stage 2.1, so we actually have to redesign a little bit. Okay, so this belt, we actually have to move down a stage. So move it to 2.3. Why isn't this working? Do I have to be in the stage the belt starts in? Ah, okay. A little bit annoying. Okay, 2.3? Oh, well, now they're in 2.3. Okay, so it's really just... It was really just this last stretch that I was missing. That's why it felt so weird. Okay. And now we tried to figure out where the heck we are. I guess we can... As long as we make sure there's no undergrounds in the way, I think we're good. So this Ooh. That's going to be a tight fit, but I think we can do it. Okay, so 2.3. We loop it around. We go straight. And now I remember we had to go a little bit weird here. Now this looks like it's part of an underground. It doesn't look like it's the rest of the... Wait, why is this on the wrong stage? I was like, I was very confused. Like, this shouldn't be the hard to follow part. Ooh. Ooh. Does undo break things? That's not good. Okay, so let's switch this one to an underground. Where is that? 3.2? Okay, I'm definitely getting better at navigating this mod. There's probably some other tricks I'm not aware of, but it's still way better. Way better than I used to be at it, for sure. Okay, perfect. And now this is in a spot where I actually have space to work with. We don't have fuel, but, you know, who needs that? Is that enough space? Yeah, we can make that work. Yeah. I know I said yeah a lot just then. I was very unsure if I could actually make it work. Okay, so one steel chest production in the middle. Red and yellow. And then I guess we can just do outputs like this. Would be totally fine. I don't know if we have a... Yeah, because this doesn't need to go there. Yeah, this should work. Don't know why I keep saying yeah. I feel like I've never said yeah that many times before in a row. Well, maybe not never, but not often. There we go. There we go. They see that's what I normally say. That's why I was confused by the change. Okay. Perfect. I don't know where there's a fuel belt here. Probably this thing. Oh, we never actually attached that. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll just double down on it. It's the only way. Okay, so this won't be attached for a really long time. So we have a couple options here. If we take this coal, it's a shorter belt, but it does waste more belt in the end. If we take this belt, it has to be placed really early. Actually, you know, that's not a big deal. Let's just place it early. Like, it's literally just one stage early. Plus these ones, which are going to be placed much, much earlier, but still totally fine. Undo those. Those are supposed to be 2.3. Don't know why they're rotated weirdly. Oh, right. Yeah, we haven't really fully done this part. I kind of forgot. This is not attached. Well, we should really take care of that. Okay, if I rotate it around, I think I have a design I can use pretty easily. So that just goes up, then we send it back down. Yeah, that's all it needs. This is safe. All of these inserters should run. Nothing's really competing for coal, so yeah, this is considered a safe design. Okay, I think that's all I needed there. Let's actually hook up yellow science, because this definitely needs to be done. Or whatever science this is. I guess we can do belts first. We'll move all of the coal belts to stage 2.3. Because I don't think they're going to add a ton of belts. Actually, wait, what stage are we on? No, yeah, let's do 2.4 is actually, no, let's do 2.4. 2.4 is fine. I don't think these small changes in stages are gonna be like make or break for anything, but might as well save that where I can, right? Okay, that can go down, that can go up. Yeah, might as well not place it earlier if I don't have to. Okay, so these do all have coal on this stage, so it looks like the only thing we're missing is this last row. And these don't run for very long. I will say that. We need early yellow science, but we don't need that much of it. We need like 100, 200. We are just trying to get a little bit of yellow science early, a little bit of purple science early to get like some of the early techs, like maybe some extra bot speed or inserter stuff. Like inserter stack size is very important. So I want to start working towards this. I don't know if this will be built. The main science will be built before we get 600 yellow science from this, but just in case, definitely better to plan to have the early one. Because honestly, we need the early purple. Adding early yellow to early purple, not a big deal. It increases entity count by like 50. So I don't need to worry about that. But let's see, 2.4 does go all the way through. Ooh. I did break that, okay. Interesting. That's bad, actually. That's the thing that broke with the undo button. How do I fix that? I don't think I should be messing with these. But I don't really know what else I could do to fix this. It's not supposed to be placed there. So yeah, we're just gonna hope this doesn't break anything. Oh, maybe it's fine. It's not. It's definitely not. Oh, now it's extra broken. We're gonna save this as a new version because, yeah. How do I fix this? The double warning signs is very ominous. Is this how today is gonna go? We're gonna restart the game. Sometimes that works. I mean, that works well for a lot of things, right? Like it's a meme for a reason, because it is a very effective solution to a lot of problems. Although I don't think it will fix this one, I had to try. Is there any chance Glass Breaks is here? Probably not. The odds of that are the mod creator is here are pretty low. Huh. Okay, what buttons do I have that could fix this? This rebuild stage button is pretty powerful. That might do it. What if I place the burner inserter back? I don't know why that would have fixed it. Okay, I guess I'll press this button. It says may resolve inconsistencies and bugs. Like, it sometimes works. If anyone's wondering, the reason I don't like pressing the rebuild stage button is it deletes everything and replaces them. So the fuel values get reset, and it just adds a lot of like latency when I want to test something. Like, it clears the belts, and it just takes a while for everything to get back. Because you don't really have everything being fully... not everything is fully automatic. We haven't attached some of the belts with, I can't think of the word, loaders. They don't all have infinity loaders on them, or infinity chest plus loaders. Causes some issues. Okay, so... I mean, the error button is gone. There's still an error. But at least we got rid of it on most stages. Okay. There we go. There has to be a better way. Is there just like... Is there a button? Oh, yeah. There it is. Yep. Now I know. That's cool. Cool mod. Mod creator thought that you might want to rebuild all stages at once. I don't really click on the tabs very much. To be fair, I only use this mod once a week, so it's hard to like get used to it. But definitely glad I tried that out after I rebuilt all the stages one by one. But hey, it fixed the problem, and that's the important thing. And now, just in case we rebuilt it a second time, because you know I might have missed one, so I don't feel like this is a complete waste of time. Okay. Perfect. Well, I say perfect. I don't know if things are actually working, but I'm hoping they are. Okay, so these all need to be built the right direction. I guess this can be an underground here. Saves a couple entities. Not significant, or it's not a lot, but it is something. Free is free, you know? I wish there was a way I could check the coal grid continuity, but we kind of get off the coal grid around this point, so there's no longer really a coal grid to check. But like, I wanna... Ooh, wait, what's this? What is this? Are these self-feeding? Oh, these are self-feeding, okay. I mean, I guess there's no reason to not have them on the lower stage, right? Oh wait, it doesn't work on the lower stage. I guess it kind of does. But yeah, they're attached to the thing across from it, not in front of it. So they don't have anything to connect to right now. Oh well, that's fine. Okay, so this is set up. The belt seems to be going the right direction. This one does have coal. This one... I don't know. I don't know if we ever finished this. Oh. Okay, that's part of the issue. Yeah, it's gonna take forever to figure out whenever we don't really have... Ooh, wait. Ooh, that's a perfect spot for it. Hold on. I wasn't expecting it to fit that easily. But yeah, we haven't done the fuel distribution yet, so we only have like one belt of coal going to about 30 rows of resources, which is not a lot. Adds a lot of latency. That is not how the end product will be. I'm expecting we'll probably have about 4 to 6 for coal, and then everything up top switches to solid fuel and gets like their own dedicated lanes as needed. But at the moment, we're just using this coal side, and yeah, you can see it's basically limited to this one splitter being split off into... Oh, 30 was an understatement. 50 different rows. Yeah, that's a lot. That's not great for saturation. But fortunately, there's two things that make that less bad. One, things aren't always going to be building, right? Like, we don't always need a full belt of resources everywhere. Things will back up and stall for a little bit. So that helps. That's a huge contributor. This doesn't have circuits logic. That doesn't need it. Yeah, so that's one of the main things about it. We don't need the constant production. When we do expand, it's going to be adding like 1,000 coal requirement every few minutes, not immediately pasting 50,000 belts or whatever we have in this base. And then on top of that, we'll have more coal. Yeah, not too worried about it, but it does make this testing phase really annoying. But these are all getting coal, which is nice. These aren't on a stage that works, though. I should have put these on a lower stage. Let's send them to stage 1, honestly. Or 2.0, I guess. Yeah, that'll work. Left, right. So that way they actually give fuel when I'm testing the lower stages. Okay, we can speed it up a little bit. But because all the stages are currently running, we can't speed it up that high. Because this is trying to run like 5 stages at once right now. We're not going to be this UPS. Well, we are going to be this UPS limited in the run, but not from our main base. The main base itself is equivalent to only running stage 5. But yeah, a mod that runs multiple stages at once is, unsurprisingly, not a great way to test your performance. Who would have thought? Yeah, there's no reason for me to try to run it at that speed. It just makes everything perform terribly. Honestly, they look connected. We have to do stage testing later anyway. I don't think it's a great investment of my time right now, so we'll just continue on. But we have coal. We now officially have, well, assuming this does have steel, this should pretty easily be able to make red and yellow chests. And it's going to be limited to like 1 stack, because why would I really need that many? Honestly, it might even be better to do a logistics network limit here. Wait, I don't have to do that. It's a logistics network limit. Oh, what is that? Interesting. Okay, 2.3. Wait, what? Oh, come on. Why? Oh, fine. I don't know why deleting that. It like kept the blueprint change, but it didn't keep the inserter, so we're just gonna have to rebuild it again. Yeah, glad we didn't spend all that time waiting for coal. Or glad we gave up on waiting for coal, because it would have been all for nothing after this. But at least this one seems to be rebuilding faster. Don't know why. Maybe because there's less errors. Actually, I don't think there were any errors the other time, too. No idea, but I mean, not complaining. Okay, so this needs to be limited to logistic network, and we'll do this less than, honestly, 10. 10 is... What? Where did it go? And then this one's yellow chest, less than 10. I'm so confused. It says there's a blueprint trains at some point. I don't know. It's good now. I don't know what happened there. I feel like it just kind of disappeared from reality. Maybe I was on the wrong stage or something. Maybe it's not that deep. But it's good now. This will make 10 chests. This will make 10. I don't actually know. We don't really have a storage chest for deconstructed rocks and stuff, so I'm not sure exactly how that will work. We might need to increase this to a larger buffer, like 20. Because this one we don't need much of. This one we theoretically need an infinite amount of. Not really infinite, but, you know, we might need a lot. But yeah, we can say that's done. Okay, finalize early, or I don't want to do train stuff. Underground belt, inserted delivery. Right, okay. And then connect radars after design. Okay, so this also requires trains. This is the only thing I've... This is the only thing I think I can do right now. I don't think we can do a super long stream today. Probably only like 90 minutes total. Maybe 2 hours. But I need to take it a little bit easy this week. But fortunately, after this week, I'll be able to go back to my fairly normal streaming schedule. I probably will still not stream on Thursdays, but I'll be able to go back to Friday streams again. Because Thursday has been a very nice day, nice recovery day. But yeah, I no longer have commitments on Friday after this week, so that'll be exciting. Because I've been missing the Friday streams. Because 4 days a week is not much when you have for designing. Whenever you already have like 2 of them booked for like regular things, like Meme Run Monday and Space Exploration Sunday. Only left up to 2 days a week for burner designing, which was decent, except I want to get done soon, so I really would like to increase the time I spend on it by 50%. That'll make a big difference. But yeah, underground belts and inserter delivery. So when you're doing a run with lots of bots and you have a time limit, build speed is important. Base game, build speed's not that important for your outpost, like unless you're being attacked by biters or something. But it usually doesn't matter that much how fast your base builds, as long as your bots don't get caught up anywhere, like it'll build before it really matters. But since we have a time limit, we need to be much more careful about that. So one way to improve that is to have belts, which are much more like consistent at like moving a resource around. To just have belts ship other building materials around. So the things you need in high quantities. Like assembly machines, I use a lot of them, but not really. Like let's take a blueprint of this real quick. Like I use a total of 2,000 assemblers. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong. But making assemblers be half a base closer, probably not worth an entire belt. Making belt half a base closer though, that's 50,000. That's 50,000 entities plus another 20,000 for burner inserters. So that's like 80,000 entities. If they all came from here, that would take forever to build. So we just want to place them in a couple closer spots, like probably, because we have them here, we have them here. So I need to make sure there's some here and here, at least. If I could get even more close, that would be better. But I think that'll be fine. Because like we have this train. We could do a drop. We'll be having a belt going up here anyway. We could have a drop-off point here. We could have a drop-off point here, and maybe here. Because this is where another train is. There's going to be a train here, and there's going to be a train here. So these are 2 very obvious drop-off points we can do. Although, admittedly, this one at the bottom isn't that helpful. It's only a little bit closer, but I mean, I might as well use it if we have it. But yeah, I see what we have to do today. We have 6 belts here that we have to send through our entire base. So we are going to save this, because this can break. This might cause a lot of issues, and I might not like it at the end of the day. But all of this stuff needs to go here, and then it also needs to go up here. So should I just take it 1 belt at a time? That seems like the best way to do it. Why is this on a different row? What is this? What? Is this not a module belt? Oh, this is robots. Okay, yeah, that robots are important. Okay. I guess we can move those later. I'm not sure why they're in a different stage, actually. Really don't know why they're in a different stage. I guess they're not produced later. Actually, yeah, you know what? All of them we should just move at 2.3. 2.2 is like the first bot build. We don't need to start filling this train yet. Okay, so yeah, let's do 2.3. I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. But I think filtered stage tool is a thing. Yeah, okay, so this filtered stage tool might make it work really well. So what I have in mind is we build this with Bluebelt, right? I do have to be mindful about doing undergrounds because Bluebelt won't auto do 4-length distances. But what it will let me do is connect all of these and then do one filtered stage tool to send them to the correct stage. You don't know what filtered stage tool does? If you want to send like just like if you have a row of yellow belts and stuff, you can do just the burner inserters. So the idea I have in mind right now is to build all of it out of blue belt, so that way I can visualize it on the last layer. And then send it down to the bottom stage. Another option, maybe there's a button that lets you see all tiles as their entity. Because that's also an option. If it exists. It might not exist. But like I just don't want to have to go through the base when I can't really see what this stuff is, especially with undergrounds. Like it's kind of risky. So I either want to see the entire thing at once and build in stage 3, or yeah, I don't see an option. Maybe to get my dodge done by glass breaks, he's so much better. Yeah, but I don't think he makes mods that make things easier. It might go against everything he believes in to make me suffer. Nah, maybe not. I guess he does watch my meme run Monday sometimes, so maybe maybe not. But yeah, this one is very, very well made. It also is built, I think, very largely with like a lot of speedrun requests in mind. Like I think it just got a ton of input from Nephrons and stuff and anti-elites. Be like, hey, can this happen? And then it gets fixed. There are some bugs in it that mean I can't use quality of life editor extension stuff, but now that I know they exist, I know to avoid them, so that's nice. Yeah, but editor extensions breaks the mod, and I think like the belt tracking tool that tracks the entire belt when you press a button, that one also breaks the mod in my experience. So unfortunately, we can't use them. That's why it's so hard for me to track down belts, because I can't use a mod to do it. It kind of breaks the game. I don't know what this is. I really don't know what this is. I don't know if we can build it, and this is why I want to see the other stage. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna use the blue belt strat. I think it's actually pretty solid. I think it does what I want. And we have a backup save. Because I really don't see a world where we make good connections without being able to see everything. Okay, so all of them need to pass this way first. So that's already terrible. I could do sushi. I don't think I want to. But I could. Alright. We do need to delete all of these first. Hello, Worldwide. Welcome, welcome. As always, had to pronounce it just a little bit off. Although that one was just me dropping the D. That sounds weird. Your technique is building the last stage from scratch, and then when you're finished, you start breaking up in earlier stages. I was thinking of doing that, but I don't know, it didn't like work with how I could visualize things. Also, it made sense to like build up through the stages just because I could break it up in my mind to like different goals. Yeah, hey, we're working on burner designs today. How am I possibly going to get 6 belts here? I mean, okay, the train doesn't have to be this far down. I think if I delete the train, I have a lot more options because I can go through here, 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 here. Yeah, okay. So basically what it boils down to is this train just needs to stop here as opposed to here. We can live with that. Okay, I think we can get 2 through this middle section. Especially if this is an underground. And this is an underground. So we can definitely get 2 belts through there. Let's do this one up top. This one can go down the bottom. Ooh, we can't go, wait. What is this? Is this just a side load? Huh. I think I just shifted it up a tile. It's frustrating that you can't paste red belts on top of yellow and have them upgrade. Oh, you mean like when you copy and paste it? Yeah. Same with like inserters, not being able to paste rotations. But yeah, those will all be fixed by force placing, right? Okay, I'm gonna hope I didn't need that. We decide a lot of things that way, but you know, we haven't run into an issue where I've deleted something and I did end up needing it after I've said that. So like, you know, so far so good. It means we don't need to change anything. Okay, so that is stage 4.1. This can go here. Okay, you know, that's perfectly fine. They made it through. I feel like we can get a third one through. I feel like that's viable. Like we can definitely fit another one through here. Which sounds annoying, but honestly, what isn't? I'm also realizing now though that we just barely have room here. So maybe these ones should go straight through and these ones should be... Yeah, okay. Yeah, these should go straight through. And then these ones should cross. I think that's fine. See, all resources up to this point are belted to the main base. Yes. This is this one, and then a couple stages after that will probably still be belted, because this is the stage the train will be built in. Yeah, all resources up to this point are belted. We're about to make a resource train. And then things are gonna get a whole lot messier. I do have the train designed. I'm just terrified to actually, you know, use it. Because I'm not good with trains. But we do have the train designed, and that's what matters. I mean, being functional also matters. But, you know, we take what we can get. Okay, so if this goes up, we're fine. No. We cannot use any train design from an actual speedrun. Due to the fact that we're using burner inserters. We're using a 210 train. It's so stupidly long. No, it's a fair question. It's a fair question. I was just laughing because of what my train actually looks like is so much worse than that. It's 2 to 10, and it will bring It will bring 2 things of fuel with it. It will store 8 wagons worth of ore, and I've decided that I think making the train any longer is not worth slightly more acceleration, which is why it's a slightly suboptimal. Which is why it's like a slightly suboptimal 2 to 10 instead of 2 to 8. But it's not a huge difference. To make the train, you know, 10% smaller at that point is massive. So that's a risk I'm willing to take. 2 to 10 with like 1.2 belt output. Yeah, no, it's not quite that bad. Output is going to be roughly... Hold on, I can't think. I think it's 3.5 red belts. 3 to 3.5 red belts, roughly. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, this is a complete mess, but that's fine. What isn't? What isn't in my life, right? Okay, there we go. There's 1, 2. Okay, so this is the only one we're missing. I wish I knew what this was. I think I deleted it. I don't think this does anything, and I think that's why I'm so confused by it, because it doesn't exist. It's only 67% less efficient than regular electric trains. Yeah, only. It shouldn't be that. Well, okay. If you're comparing it to fast inserters, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that sounds about right. You know what? You know what's even better? We're not able to use a buffer chest with it. So not only is it less efficient, it's impossible to have a buffer chest. Which is, oh, we have an attached military science. That's fine. This military science can come around here. We'll do some belt weaving. I think that'll be okay. It feels really weird. Just putting this out there. It feels really weird building with blue belt right now. But it is helping a lot. I'm glad this is a decision I went with. But yeah, once I finish at least connecting these 3 belts, I'll show my train design. It's kind of fun. Why do you use blue belts with 4 long if you're belt braiding? So right now I'm not belt braiding. This is a visualization technique entirely. So these are going to be yellow. These are yellow belts, but I'm placing them as blue belts right now. So that way I can work in this layer and send them all down to the bottom stage in one step using the filter stage tool. So that's all this is at the moment. This is building blue belt. I'm building yellow belts that just happen to be blue. Okay. That seems fine. This can go through here, this can go through here. Honestly, this can move up a tile. I don't think this is going to be the most efficient, but I wasn't sure if I was going to use the train, so I kind of forgot about this. Yeah, that's basically what it boiled down to. I just was not confident if we were actually going to use this train in particular. I knew, because I wasn't sure if we were going to be using trains for resources. That sounds dumb. All trains are for resources. I wasn't sure if we were going to need trains for getting the outposts, and then I realized how many outposts I would need to connect with belts. Then I decided, yeah, you know what? 10 long trains are worth it. They were worth the headache. But yeah, that is these 3 belts. Okay, I really hope it's only these 6. And then the other one, I think we can definitely pass one through here. The only issue is we need to move this down 1 tile, but that's actually very easy. There we go. There we go. Move this down. Move this down. And once I get through here, I think it's easy, because we left a lot of space here. And not all of these belts need to make it through to the top. But yeah, we have a lot of space left here, because I was planning for a train. Yeah, we'll have a fairly easy time getting the rest of the way. Yeah, we only need to send the high ticket items the rest of the way too, so that'll be nice. Okay, so we have 1. We'll go here. I think I'll use a blue belt. Oh, I don't like belt weaving. Belt weaving, I mean, I like belt weaving a lot. I don't like doing it right now when I might be changing things. But I don't really see a great way to get this over here. What if I... this needs to be here. That is long enough, right? So we just need to find a way to get this belt over here. I might just have to give it in belt weave. I know this underground's too long, but I'm not that concerned with that. Like that one's an easy fix. Okay, well this one I know I can do. We just need to remove that underground. That part's easy. S to the leftmost belt through alternating undergrounds. I see what you mean. Mostly see what you mean. Good idea. Thank you. That's perfect. No, that works really well. I hope I didn't delete anything important, actually. I'm pretty sure I deleted something. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now we have to belt weave anyway, so that's fun. But I'm glad we didn't have to belt weave there at least. Okay, that's 4 belts. Perfect. I feel like we could fit one through here. Oh, this needs to be on circuit logic, so we don't actually have a ton of flexibility here. Also, this is just wasting a belt. I should fix that. That's huge. Huge savings. Look at this. Free entity right there. Amazing. We're doing so good. If I can... honestly, it might be worth it to just delete some of these and replace them with speed 2s. Because it simplifies this headache a lot. I might be able to switch the outputs. Honestly, I don't really want to mess with this. I can send all of them through... well, one of them through here. Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to accept that we're belt weaving. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We'll have to manually fix it, but we can live with that. Let's see. Can I shift this up a tile? No, it's already in maximum range. Honestly, can I flip this? I might be able to flip this, because if I can flip this, I think... well, we don't have a way to get this inside. We can probably rotate. This can go down a tile. This can go through here. It's a little messy. Maybe I shouldn't have had that belt loop. Okay, what other options do we have? We have this. We might be able to feed something through here. That requires us to change this, though. This is too wide. Everything is almost very easy, but it's not. Okay, you know, we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so this is too long to belt weave. However, if we belt weave with a red belt, now this will be... we have to build this one a little bit weirdly. Oh, that's too long, actually. Hold on, that doesn't work. You can pass one belt from left to right, the second tile below the top row of yellow science beacon dissemblers. Almost very easy, but not. When you quote it like that, it doesn't sound smart at all. Let's see, from left to right, the second tile below the top row. You mean here? See, that's what I'm trying to do. I can't figure out how to get that belt over there. I guess I have to rearrange these, right? I guess these can go through the middle. I mean, if we're accepting we're belt weaving anyway, this can go around. That's not awful. Not great, but it would work. Yeah, the issue I'm seeing is how we can get through here. Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, I did forget this train existed. which is why this was not baked into my design from the get-go. Um, I just kept postponing the train for a long time, not knowing if I would actually use them, and completely forgot about it. There was supposed to be a gap here along the entire base, and I just completely slipped my mind. And we are suffering for it. Fortunately, version 2, we can fix it. But yeah, if we can figure out how to make this turn, we're golden. Okay, I think since that is only space science, we might actually be fine. If it's on the correct side of the belt. We could force a side load. Does that affect anything? No, everything's on one side anyway. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, we don't really have any prio here, so yeah, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we can force a side load halfway through. I think that would be totally fine. And then that will let us rotate this. So something like this does work. We just have to do a side swap. And there might be a better way. But conceptually, I think this is a fine. If we move this up one tile, my life gets a lot simpler. And we don't lose that much research speed. Honestly, yes. Yeah, we're screw it. we're doing it. I will accept that one of my labs is marginally slower. If we are lab limited, I think I'll be way too happy about being lab limited to care that we're slightly underproducing on our labs by what would amount to like 2%. Yeah. If I am somehow magically 2% lab limited and not limited by, 20 million green chips using burner inserters, yeah, I have more things to be happy about than I have to be upset about there. But yeah, we can mostly make this work. But there we go. That's 5. So that leaves one more. And I don't think I have anything that's too long. I guess we'll find out. Pretty sure we're good. We could make it go through the top. That would be fine. Peak trade-offs. This phase is nothing but trade-offs. Mostly trade-offs for our sanity. But what's new? I mean, we don't have much of that left, right? Okay, that's 4. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, I think we got it. I mean, there's a whole other part of the base that we have to go through, but the other part of the base is way more flexible, so I'm not as concerned with that. Okay, now we save another version. The version numbers are just very arbitrary at this point. I can't... Wait, what do you mean belt braiding? Oh yeah, this is the one I have to manually change. Thank you. Good catch. I think that's worth it. That's the only part it messed up, right? Because, yeah, I was aware of that. I just forgot to do that ahead of time. Yeah, that should be totally fine. 2 red belts is very... like 100 iron, right? Yeah, it's not expensive this late in the run. But yeah, I definitely would have forgotten to double check. The other option... I might be able to fit it through here. But I don't think it's that... I don't think it's that much less complicated. Oh wait, we could have gone up here. Oops. Wrong layer. Yeah. That's easier. No idea what that is. We're just gonna do an underground to go past it. Underground, 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 underground. Hopefully this is done and doesn't need any expansions. That's 4 tiles. Okay, now we don't have to worry about any of belt weaving. Aside from this one. But, you know, that's not as bad. Okay, so now we take this. We use filtered stage move tool, sending to 2.3. And now we filter out all the blue stuff. And we hope this works. What? Oh, right. It's giving me a warning. Instant deconstruction. Filter stage tool must be used with instant deconstruction, which is disabled. Perfect. Okay, now we go to 2.3, and they are here, and now we downgrade them to yellow belt. Now, obviously, building it ahead of time would have been much easier, but I think this was a good way to... Yeah, no, that was a very good way to build it and keep me able to visualize it the entire time. I'm happy with that. Yeah, very happy with how that worked out, actually. Have you considered applying to a citizenship to Italia? I do make a mean spaghetti. That's for sure. That's all you need, right? Anyway, we were talking about trains. Let's see if I can find my train blueprint. It was on our old base, which was, I think, here. Some things might break, but that's fine. Yeah, it was before we started doing it in blueprint staged. Don't. Oh yeah, the tacos would be a deal. Lack of tacos would be a deal breaker for sure. Okay, so we have a couple train designs. Neither of them are, none of them are fully set up. So the general design philosophy is this. So this is roughly what the outpost will look like, just twice as large. Because this doesn't actually, this is only like half a patch. It would be about this wide. This is like 2/3 of a patch. It will be about this wide. So the general design philosophy is we have one train and we have circuits with logic on them that only run if there is enough fuel on the belt. So we keep track of the fuel belt here at the beginning. So if we ever start to run low on fuel, all of the inserters disable, makes it that they can't brown out. Because they only work when fuel is completely backed up. So that way you can use red belt with it, otherwise you couldn't use red belt. Although I don't think our final design has red belt anyway, so it's not as big of a deal. But it's still important to have some logic, just in case fuel goes in a weird order. And you can pretty much guarantee fuel is going to arrive in a weird order. The weird thing is, why is this not on? I have a functional one somewhere. Ah, there we go. Here's one without the mining outpost. So we have a filtered cargo wagon. It has one stack of solid fuel set at the beginning, so that way it is lowest priority for outputting, but still high priority for filling the inserters. So we fill most of the wagon with iron, a little bit of solid fuel with it, so that way they can use one cargo wagon for the loading and the unloading. And then the train gets sent back to the station. We do double check to make sure it has most of the cargo it needs. It won't be completely full. Won't necessarily be completely full, but it'll be mostly full. So then when it goes to unload at the actual station, it will unload all the iron first. Then all the solid fuel will be filtered back and recycled. And we just need to make sure we have like a large enough buffer here for about like 1 to 2 trains probably. Before it gets recycled to go back onto the train. So every time we do waste about 50 to 100 fuel. Not like waste that isn't burn, but we recycle about 100 fuel every time. So we're not using the entire cargo wagon capacity, but we do use most of it, so it's not a huge deal. Like, it's a loss of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 40 stacks, right? So it's a loss of about 2.5% or so. but it makes it that we can get 3 times the inserters per wagon, which is, I think, definitely a fair trade-off. But as you can see, it does most of a full belt for mostly full belts. So it's about 3.5 belts total. And then the fuel gets recycled, and then it gets sent back. We're just going to send it through. Because we didn't let it fill, the way the values don't match up, but they should be fairly balanced normally. And then it repeats it. And then the reason we have this cargo wagon in the beginning, half of it goes towards... Actually, like 90% of it is going to go towards the miners. Yeah, this trailer soundtrack is great. Which apparently someone pointed out, it sounds a lot like the Sound of Goo soundtrack too. Which I didn't know what they were talking about, but yeah, YouTube recommended it to me the other day, and it's like, oh my god, it sounds exactly the same. But I'm glad, I think you're the only person who's recognized it as what it is. At least the only person who's made a comment on it. But yeah, I'm very happy with the idea of the trains. Like, they do need a little bit of logic, but it has the amount of trains I need, which is pretty big. Because otherwise I would need to do either 2 to 3 6 wide... I would need 2 to 3 8 long trains at a time, unloading simultaneously, which is that's a lot. Like, that means every outpost would need 60 wagons, and that's hard to produce with burner inserters. Just putting it out there. Okay, yeah, some of them do get stuck. We lose about 10% of them every time. They get stuck until the next train. On average, it's still more than double what we would get otherwise. It's not perfect, but on average we lose 1 to 2 per 12 inserters. But it's not like a permanent issue, and it only happens to 2 of them. Yeah, I definitely have that accounted for in my estimates for the time and stuff. Yeah, there isn't really a great way to prevent that, unfortunately. Not with stack size. The only way I could prevent that, I think, would be maybe cycling the inserters. Or just say, or something like that. I don't know. Like putting them on some kind of stagger. But it's not that important. It's still double the inserter capacity, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. But as you can see, this isn't enough. Like, it's barely 3 belts. I want to get 6 red belts from every... I need to get 6 red belts from every outpost. So I need 2 of these. So we have 2 options. Haven't fully decided. Yeah, haven't fully decided what I want. But we can either do a double wide station using two of these, or we can have 1 10 long train. Another option, actually, I guess there's a third option to do both. We might have 2 unloading stations and a 10 long train, but then only have 3 trains or something, or 4 trains. Because up here is roughly how long the loops will have to look with trains this long, which is why I was not keen on making it even 1 longer, if I can avoid it. 2.0 filters, yeah. We're going to do this run, and we're going to do another... We'll have to do this again once we get 2.0, because I think that's going to make a lot of difference. Like, it will make burner inserters so much better. Slightly better. I guess it's not like a huge improvement, but filter inserters will be useful for trains. You usually do 2 in parallel in vanilla, but you don't know if it could fit here as well. I think 2 in parallel is just a good idea in general to have like more consistent flow too, especially since I can't do buffer chests. I mean, I can do buffer chests, but they're not worth it. Like, the amount of space you need to set up a buffer chest just to use like twice as much fuel as well, it adds up. So yeah, there's not a huge reason to use buffer chests. So 2 trains in parallel, I think, could be good. The one limitation, and this does make a lot of ideas not work that people suggest, it needs to be a single track. It has to be a single connecting track. That is very important. Like, that is the only thing that matters, actually. Any design philosophy at the either at the outpost or at the base, I don't care about. Bots can build that. This, though, this one needs to be one track. Because basically, I'm going to be doing this like 30 times with a controller. We're not going to be able to build a two-way train. Like, that's not going to happen. Not fast enough. So that's why it has to be a single-headed, one-track train. I don't know how many trains I need. I think someone said I needed 5. Which is viable. But yeah, we should be able to do, even with like parallel unloading, we should be able to still have them on a single track, right? We'll just need a waiting area. Yeah, because they would just like branch off here. Yeah, so that wouldn't be a problem. See, I can still do the trains in parallel. I'll need to do some actual tests. Also, like, look at how expensive they are to run. I think 5 is too many. Because the thing is, they're not going very far. That's what it all boils down to. This is basically the distance they'll be going. Like, they're not really going to be going farther than 400 tiles. Maybe 300. So, like, the time to go from here to here is fairly insignificant. Like, trains aren't great in terms of, like, the resource cost, the speed. None of those are advantages here. The only reason we're using trains is because otherwise I have to connect 100 yellow belts by hand or 50 red belts by hand. And I would much rather connect 10 to 15 trains that are single rather than do 50 red belts. That's the only reason we're doing it. If I wasn't using a controller, we probably would just suffer and just do this for an hour. But yeah, that's not going to happen on a controller. It's not going to be consistent enough. But yeah, this phase of the run will be done on a controller. We're doing up to bots and a little bit past it. 50 undergrounds doesn't sound like much if you drag undergrounds. It's a lot. Mechanically, that is very difficult to do, even with a keyboard. Without a keyboard, it's way worse. Like, it's prone to errors even with a keyboard, right? Like, it's way too prone to errors. And without a keyboard, I can guarantee that it will not happen. So there's no real reason to, you know, bother with the idea, right? Because I know I will not be able to do that. If you've tried playing with a controller, you would know. Or if anyone's played with a controller, it's not great. I really don't want to have to do it. It's just kind of the only option if I want to do a long run in one stream. But I don't think they implemented it very well. I don't think it should have infinite directions you can move the cursor. I think it would have been much better if it was locked to 8 directions for the type of game it is. And it makes stuff like turning belts, selecting specific tiles, makes it very inconsistent. Which is why I'm happy with trains, because trains have the auto-connecting thing, so I don't have to worry too much. We just have to make sure to not cross rails, but we don't have to worry about corners or anything like that. Yeah, that's the general design philosophy with the trains. There was another idea, which I think was fun, but it wasted too much of the patch, unfortunately. It requires me to get twice as many patches, but it does save a lot of inserters. But this is that idea. I think it's really fun. Like, I think it's a really cool design. And that is to direct mine into the trains. And all you would have to do is at the end of them, you just have a fuel belt that unloads, and then it sends it straight through here, and it feeds the miners. It works really well. It's just, like I said, double patches is pretty significant. Cars on belts only need 1 belt per patch. Cars on belts is not a viable option. It's a fun option. It's not a good alternative to trains. That's a meme option for sure. But I don't think there's any situation where it's a good idea outside of creative mode. Mostly because of the bot. If bots could place the cars, I think it would be more promising. Like, I think it does have some promise if it could be automated. The main problem is the fact that you have to place, like, 200 cars by hand. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot of cars that you have to take with you. Hello, Vandabo. Welcome, welcome. No, don't even consider it. But, okay, fine. I know I shouldn't consider it, but it's such a fun idea. And it's not, like, it's not bad. What's this? Okay, so this is one that's actually a decent idea. It just isn't great for patch density. It's it's a very like it's a very easy design that scales very fast, has a very low startup time. So this is actually a pretty solid design. But the idea of this is just direct mining to trains, and it reduces your inserter count by like half. My only issue with it is I think it's only 30% less resources. So like I haven't completely scratched this one off as an option. I think the biggest disadvantage of this one is that I actually need 8 trains for it to work, whereas the other one can make do with like 4. So the upfront cost is very high. Fortunately, they don't need double locomotives because they only move once every like 30 minutes. That's why we have 8. That's why we have 8 trains. But the double patch thing is very significant. Like it doesn't like that's a lot. Like connecting 30 patches versus 15 is a lot. Better for UPS. I don't think the UPS for the unloading the trains is going to be that high in the grand scheme of things, so I'm not too concerned with that. I wouldn't want it everywhere. But this train is only going to be like, these trains are only going to be like 10% of my total production. So saving UPS here isn't going to make my base, isn't going to save that much time, if any. So it mostly comes down to what's a faster design to set up will save more time than saving UPS at this phase in the run. Because if I can set it up 30 minutes faster, we're not going to lose 30 minutes from UPS. Right, we'll lose maybe 5. This is for normal outposts for the base. So this is for once I get to once I've connected all like the close copper patches, and we start needing to connect the remaining like 15 to 20 patches of resources, or however many it is. I think it's about 100 belts of resources. Maybe it's not quite that many, but whatever it is, I think it's like 10 to 15 outposts. I don't want to connect them all with belts because that would be very hard to do on a controller. So we're going to be using trains. And we have this design. Maybe, okay, let's find an actual patch. Let's test this with an actual patch. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. What's a normal? This is like a fairly normal looking size patch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not great. How do you manage the offloading? Okay, yeah, that is a good point. That is another disadvantage of this one. With this design, you have 2 ways you can do the offloading. The first option is a staging tool where you fill the train with coal, so that way you can have self-feeding inserters empty the coal, or solid fuel. That's a very viable option. The other option... let's see. What's the other option? The other option is to have inserters unload like this, which requires you to have twice as many unloading stations. But I haven't really thought about it yet with that design in particular. I should really see how many inserters, how many drills this can get me. that's, like I said, that's its main disadvantage. The belt density is worse. And I think it has to be this far away. Yeah, okay, so we can get 240. What does that equate to? I can assume mining productivity 1.2 at this point. So 240 divided by 60 divided by 1.2-ish. That's 3 yellow belts of resources. Yeah. It burns, burns, burns. Why did you just found out this song after so many years in your head? What song? It burns, burns, burns? Uh, there's a lot of options actually that will come when I type that up, so I feel like I need more info. uh, 240 drill. Okay, what would a normal patch look like? I guess that's another thing we should test. How did I misplace that? How did I misplace the train that I literally just built? Does anybody remember where it was? Did I undo? Oh, it's not on my hotbar. Oh, okay. Understandable then. Completely understandable how I misplaced that. It wasn't on my radar because I was in map view. Okay, cool. I don't feel so crazy anymore. Okay, so we can probably assume we can get about 240. I don't think we'll be able to get many more from other patches, and we can't be that picky about these patches so early. With a normal design, it has this many drills. I like how I'm calling these normal designs. I'm so burner brained that this is just normal these days. Okay, so it's not... that's not a huge loss, actually. Loco, local. Loco, loco. Okay, so it is this weird one that I saw in the suggestions. Okay. 33%. If it's only 33% worse, actually not even that. If it's only 25% worse. Because it's 240 versus 300, right? Yeah, that's a quarter. 25% might be worth it. Because that isn't double patches. That's... Hmm. Okay. Hold up. This one isn't expandable infinitely. The other design is, which sounds weird, but the other one... Because of the way the other one is set up, mining productivity, no matter how high it goes, we'll be able to keep getting more ore out of the outpost. With the other design, we're belt limited, so there is a theoretical limit to how much ore it can supply. Like, there's obviously a limit anyway. It's not like I'm going to be researching infinite mining productivity. But basically what it boils down to is I can set the other one up to have an expansion later in the unloading portion to get more ore out of it. I can't do that with this other design. So that means I could potentially catch up. So I could start with 3 belts of resources instead of 4 belts of resources. And then towards the end of the run, it will be 4, which is nice. You can have half-fed trains too, since they move every 30 minutes and have them move when in an activity. What do you mean by half-fed trains? I don't quite follow. Let's look at it like a more normal patch real quick. Okay, yeah, it looks like we'll be able to get about 300 regardless. Maybe it's not too bad. I thought the belt density loss was way lower. Maybe I was comparing it to a different belt design. Yeah, okay. No need to have a train direct mine into it at 100% capacity at the edge of the passage. Just cover it all on at the sides. It'll only be 50 to 60% covered, but it's fine. Oh, I see what you mean. So you're saying I could have like a train here that doesn't run as often, but still gets me some iron out of it? Is that the idea? So I can use the edges a lot more easily with this design. Okay. Yeah, moving an inactivity is a good idea. I honestly would have thought about would have forgotten about that. The only problem I have with that is that if any of the trains are not filled at all, that does cause issues with my unloading. So I guess I could do like the half trains, but if like there's a corner of the train missing, I'm doomed, right? Or not doomed, but that means when that train's unloading, like 5% of my base is gonna not work, or 10% of my base is gonna not work. So I need to figure out how we can account for that. Let's see, where is it? Okay, yeah, so like right here. If I have like a wagon on the end that's not being filled, just means things won't run very well when it actually goes to my station. But it is nice. It means like I do like the idea of having like one extra half train as an option, especially for things like this. Like something like this isn't that bad. Like this is mostly usable. So I guess that's really what I just want to use it for. I don't want to use it to make something like this work. I just want to use it to make something like this work. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, so this train might actually be viable. And then that brings me to the next thing, which is how do we unload it? So we have two options here. One of them does let us use a buffer. I don't think we need to do it, but we could use a buffer if we wanted. So now we have two unloading options. So obviously, easiest one looks like this. However, it requires 2 to 3 unloading stations for this one to work, because this will have a limit of... I could do 2. I think technically I can do 5 if I have a weird pattern. So like I can stagger it, and I guess since it's built by bots, staggering isn't a terrible idea. So this isn't the exact pattern. I'm just kind of placing them to get the idea of inserter count right now. So basically you can do 5 per wagon, but you have to stagger them top and bottom. It's very weird. It's not something I would ever want to place by hand, but it's something I can place here. So this should be 36 inserted. Wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is how long it would be. Then we'll have coal feeding on the back, or coal fueling on the back. Actually, yeah, we probably don't need as much fuel either. So this is one option. This lets me get 36 inserters per train. We are assuming we'll have one stack size increase, which I believe... It's not a full 1.2. It's pretty close. It's like 1.1, 1.15. We'll just say 1.2. I don't think it matters that much. So that is 43. Okay, so this is 3 yellow belts. So we need at least 2 of them. And then if we have it designed correctly, this will start at 3 red belts total for this design. And if we have like a splitter or some kind of compressor, this can eventually become 4 once we get stack size 4, which I do like that idea. So this is one option. Will not be difficult at all to set up the inserters. It's going to be annoying, but it won't be difficult. We also have the ability to set up a buffer chest here if I really want. I don't think we need it. Actually, that would be terrible for UPS, so we really shouldn't use it. Like having twice as many inserters work all the time is not great, especially since this is multiple. That would actually be like a few, like 1,000 plus inserters. Yeah, so this is option A. Option B, we have 2 We have 2 steps here. And then we have a rail, we have a train stop in between. So this is the staging area. So it would stop here. I imagine we would have a bunch of inserters feeding the back. And then we would have like 1 inserter feeding the sides. Actually, no, feeding... Honestly, not worth it. That just adds to the time. So we would actually just have it feed here. So we'd have a coal belt looking like this. And then it would stop here. We would feed the wagon with 50 solid fuel and the rest iron, basically. There we go. Actually, would this be solid fuel? This might be solid fuel. I'm not sure. Nope, not plates. Oh yeah, so this is one option. I'm not gonna click the rest because I think the idea it's pretty straightforward. It stops here for like 5 seconds to get 50 solid fuel thrown in it. Then it goes straight forward, and now the unload station can look like this. This isn't 36 inserters. 1, 2. This is... Yeah, no, I think I overestimated the amount of inserters I have, actually. Hold on. So it's 5 per wagon, right? So 40 inserters. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. 40 inserters. So yeah, three belts of resources. The other option is 12 times... 12 times 8, though. Which is 115. Is that 7 belts? 115 divided by 15. That's a little over 7 yellow belts. 7.5 yellow belts. I don't really know which is better, actually. I mean, this has the staging area, which is nice. I don't know if this one would allow me to get away with 1 less unloading station. Maybe that's what it boils down to. And then this will loop around somehow. We'll make the loop later. Just trying to visualize it right now. And then we send it back where it came from. We're just gonna do that. This isn't how it'll actually look, but the idea is there. We have 2 spots for it to stop. Then it turns around, it goes back. We should be able to fit like 2 trains here. I think 2 trains here at any given point would also be good. This isn't terrible. And this is very consistent. It's very safe. Inserter count wise, I don't actually know which is better for performance. I don't think it matters that much with either of these designs. I don't think the difference will be huge. Or we have this one. This one is definitely way easier to set up, though. I will say that. Space-wise, it's not actually much better. I think because of how much longer it has to be with the staging area. Let's see, anyone who knows trains, I don't think anybody will really have that important, that won't really, not that important, that great of an understanding of how trains and burner inserters work to the point where we know what's optimal, but general train design philosophy, which would be better? 2 unloading stations or 1? Does it really make a difference? Also, how many inserters did I say this was? 8 times 12? 12 times 8 is 96. Yeah, this is 2.5 times, well, 2 1/3 times the inserters. They both look awful. I love both of them, but also dislike both of them at the same time. The recycling loop is easy enough to set up. This is 80 inserters. Let's look at this unloading station. Where is this one? Okay, so this is easy enough to send into 4 belts. And then we can send this into a compressor. And then the compressor can be designed to eventually send 2 extra belts of ore later. I actually really like that idea. I am, you know, I am starting to lean towards the new design. Not the new design. I am starting to lean towards this design. Because this one is better. Or not better, but I think it eventually matches. Let's see, 240 times 1.2 is 288. Whereas 300 times 1.2 is 360. However, that's the limit. That stops at 6 belts of resources. Gosh, that's only 6 yellow belts. Yeah, trains are bad. However, once we do 240 times 1.5, it's still less. It is still less. But it's not that much less. Actually, no, it's identical. Okay, so once we get all of our mining productivity researches, this becomes comparable. And that's when we start to care about UPS. I kind of like I do kind of like the curve. What about the investment cost of this? How many sections is it to get 240? Let's see, 240 divided by 48. 5. Okay, so 5 trains, 2 in the unloading station. So this needs like 7 trains per outpost. This one needs 5. We need at least 5 here, and then 2 back at base. So yeah, this is a 7 train investment. This is 5. These trains are slightly cheaper though, which is nice. Not a ton. 1 less locomotive, 1 less wagon, basically. But that is cheaper. Ooh, cheaper belts too though. Not a ton, but it does use like half the belt. Honestly, the iron savings from belt might make up for the fact that it costs 20% more for trains. And maybe I'm not train limited. I don't know. I think we're only producing like 1. I don't think our cargo wagon production is very high. We might need to stress test our build again. But yeah, I do like the designs. What is this one? Oh, this is trying to test a shorter version. It may, oh yeah, true. It definitely costs more rails. Rails just felt super cheap that I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, definitely. Well, okay, let's see how this one loops. This is 330. We don't really have either of them set up properly. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It's gonna cost like 100 more rail, at least 100 more like 200 more rail. Is that expensive? I don't think that's expensive, right? Like 200 rail versus like 200 belts, they're pretty comparable. Belt's a little cheaper. Like belt's cheaper, but it's not like, if there's other advantages, it's not terrible. 200 rails, about 7 prod science rails. What does that mean? Like enough rails to run 7 prod science assemblers? That metric does not help me visualize anything. I definitely get what you're going for. But I don't think I can visualize the cost of prod science enough in terms of rails for that to really give me an idea of if it's expensive or cheap. Or I guess that's enough rails for 7 prod science. Okay. Yeah, I guess that is cheap. They can cost a lot. Yeah, that's true. In a short amount of time, it's kind of expensive. Aren't Americans the ones that use anything but the imperials or the international standard? What's IS? Is that international standard? Is that how you abbreviate, is that SI? Is that the same as SI? I've never seen that abbreviation before, so I'm not entirely. I'm lost. I think I know it's definitely an actual measurement system, but I've never seen it written that way, so now I'm not sure if it means something else too. But yeah, rail cost is significant, huh? Okay, what's... Well, we can do a cargo wagon cost estimate real quick, right? SI, sorry. I mean, they might both work. Wasn't sure if it was just called something different elsewhere. It's not like we use it anyway, right? So what we call it shouldn't be definitely shouldn't be the standard. I mean, who really uses it here? Okay, so 40 times 20. So 20 steel we can say is 100 iron, right? So that's 140 times 2 times 8. Okay, so it's 2,000 extra iron for the wagons. Direct mining with burners. Yeah, this might be slightly traumatizing way to walk in. We are saving 200 iron here, though. Actually, we're saving like 500 iron there, actually. So we could probably say 1,000 more iron for this. Funny thing is that electric base can be bottlenecked by wagons. Oh, you mean in like the actual runs? You mean for like the how fast the wagons are producing? Yeah, I see why. It's actually surprisingly hard to produce like 70 wagons in like 5 minutes. Fortunately, I'm not too concerned about this stuff starting immediately, so if we don't have the wagons, the world doesn't end. The main thing is I just need to be able to build it fast. Saving copper of the power poles to connect the outposts. Wait, is this actually completely powerless? I mean, obviously I need to bring roboports here, so not exactly, but it is it it is pretty much not powered. I guess that goes to all of the designs though. Yeah, I definitely need to re-examine how many wagons I'm producing because I feel like we're underproducing them. Okay, and then I wanted to look at rail cost. So these cost, let's say two, no, let's say 4 resources. Let's see, 5 plus 1. Yeah, we'll round it to 4 resources per rail. Yikes. Okay, so this version does cost about 2,000 to 3,000 more resources for the outpost itself, minus the cost of all of the burner drills. So maybe it's better. And then if we were to compare it, the only thing that we're saving are these belts. So we're saving roughly 200 regular belt plus this, which is yellow belt. So let's call that, if we're being conservative, let's say 200 belt total. Maybe 300. So 300 yellow belts. Yeah. Okay, so it is about 2,000 more resources more. Which is what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes of 1 belt of iron? That's actually not too bad. I don't... Bell's costs nothing to be often. To be honest, it doesn't, but when we're trying to see if we're like... If it offsets the cost, I thought it was important. Because the only difference in cost is like 3,000. Accounting for belt makes it like 2,500. That makes the difference a lot smaller. But yeah, either way, it's not that significant. But honestly, yeah, 2 minutes of resource production extra. Wait, that's extra though. How expensive are these going to be to build? Yikes. The calculation was that a train connection was like 7 to 10 roboports. In electric 100%. Not sure what that means. Like it just takes 6 roboports to get over to the train? I'm not sure what that's referring to, actually. Oh, it costs 7 to... Why does it cost 7 to 10 roboports? Or do you mean like the whole... Yeah, what part of it costs that? I'm definitely missing something here. Are burner drills cheaper than making electric drills per ore output? I'm pretty sure they're not. Maybe with direct feeding they might be okay. The lack of modules doesn't help. Although that doesn't really help with the cost, does it? Okay, so this costs 14, this costs 27.5. So no, they are actually worse by like 2%. If you're just looking at per ore output, they are like 2% worse. When you account for fuel, it grows, the gap grows even larger. Seeing trains this long makes you uncomfortable as you mostly only use 1, 2, barely ever 3. Yeah, unfortunately we don't really have an option with burners. If we want to use trains, we have to have very large trains because we can't output more than 7 resources from a single train. Like, that's not that much. Yeah. When you account for how many spaces it has, it's even worse. We were just looking at... And we weren't looking at belt density. It was just in terms of output, like 0.25 versus 0.5. But yeah, when you account for space, they're even worse. They're even worse. It's almost like you're not supposed to use them to get every achievement. Who would have thought? Yeah, I think I can probably say ours are gonna cost like 20 to 30 roboports worth of steel and iron. But hey, our run is gonna be like 2 to 3 times slower. You can fit all side of a train with burner? No, only 3x3. What do you mean? You mean like compared to this, or we can only fit 3 at a time per wagon. Oh yeah, we can't use 4 burners per wagon. That's not possible. Unless there's like some weird mechanic here where it can somehow output into the train. But I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, we can only fit 3 per wagon. I mean, we can move it over, but that doesn't help. The only way to maybe do more would be to have it like an inserter. That kind of defeats the purpose. I wish we could fit more. Definitely wish we could fit more. There's also a pattern I can use that tessellates really well, although that's mostly for visuals. But I think if I stagger them in pairs, it makes a better pattern. Doesn't change anything, but it makes a better pattern. Yeah. Oh no, it does change things. It saves undergrounds. Yeah, there's a way I can save a small amount of underground with a decent pattern. Okay, we're actually gonna save this as burner outpost train testing. There we go. Hopefully we'll find this later. Yeah, I think I'll need to do tests. I know these are going to be incredibly expensive. It's going to cost like 20,000 iron to make each outpost. Which isn't terrible, because we do have like 100 iron per second going into this or something. So like that's still only a few minutes of production per outpost, which is probably about as fast as I'll be building. Better start with our iron outpost then. Fortunately, everything for building this is connected by hand. But yeah, we could start with iron and maybe increase our train production if we think train production is going to be a low. But yeah, it's they're pricey. Yeah, the cost difference being so low makes me want to do this. It is playing the long game. I have to set up more trains early, but then they become better later. Honestly, I think I can do that. It should be fairly consistent. I think the start time for this one is going to be very weird, but I think it's going to reach like a steady state fairly quickly. And the more trains I have, the less that matters. But of course, trains become expensive. We're probably not going to be able to get more than 8. Because I'm assuming 5 on patches, 2 in the outposts, 1 in transit, 2 in the unloaders, 1 in transit or something. Honestly, this design with the loading section that I was talking about, the staging section where I put fuel into it for the unload, that one does save an entire train, which is kind of pricey, so that's an option. It probably saves 1,000. Honestly, it probably saves like 5 to 10% on the outpost. But I don't know. I'll probably do some tests next time to see which one actually like runs more steadily using actual actual patches. So we'll set that up next time, which would be Saturday. Yeah, we'll be back Saturday with more burner designing. Because I do need to finish the testing. Because I can't finish the rest of my base until I actually finish the rails. Trains confuse me, so they're not. I've been postponing them a while. That's a good way to put it. But that's it for me today. Thanks for the ideas, and especially thanks for helping me belt weave. I pointed out a couple things that I would have missed when trying to attach those. But it should be much quicker next time. We can finish up sending that mall through our entire base. We can have drop-off points for things like inserters, belts, stuff like that. But the rest of it seems like a pretty straight train. Trains need trading, training. Yeah, I do need to train my trains. But I hope you all have a wonderful week. Let's see, it is Tuesday, right? Yeah, so I'll be back Saturday. Looking forward to next week where I can go back to Friday streams, though. Woo! I'll get so much more progress on burner stuff when I can do it 50% more often. But yeah, have a good one. Peace.